Maniacs.
Hey, Maniacs. Welcome to Devil Week.
This is so exciting. We have new Midsomer.
New Midsomer episode number 1 of season 24.
The Devil's Work.
The devil's work.
Now, this is a mini.
It's a mini.
Which means it's an introduction. You listen to this before you watch the episode. We are not going to spoil it like we usually do in an episode. This is spoiler free.
Spoiler free.
You listen to this, then you watch the episode, and then later in January, we will have a full-length episode about this episode of Midsomer. I said episode a lot.
Yes, and what we're going to do is teach you how to watch like a maniac.
Yes.
Give you some clues as to the things that we picked out as we were watching it like a maniac. Boy, there are a lot of websites I have to do research on.
There are a couple of actors that you should take note of.
Yes.
First is Peter Serafinowicz, who plays Lucian Shirewell in this episode. He's kind of the main character.
Yes.
You might recognize him if you've ever seen Shaun of the Dead.
Sarah's first comment was, I hope he doesn't die. He has a great voice.
I love his voice. He is the voice of death in the new audiobooks of the Terry Pratchett Discworld books.
Yes.
And I'm like listening for death in the books, like, oh, I know there's a death part coming up. And I get to hear his voice.
Yeah, he plays the roommate in
Shaun of the Dead, the corporate
it's just
roommate.
Fantastic.
The other actor that you should keep an eye out for is Sarah Woodward, and she plays Ursula Shirewell. And you'll recognize her from everything, though you might not be able to put your finger on her. So let us fill you in on where you've seen her. She's in The Queens of Mystery. She's one of the aunts,
one
the
of the
three aunts.
Yep.
She's the secretary in Professor T.
Yes.
She has kind of a cool bouffant hairdo in that.
Yes.
And she was in the version of The Pale Horse that had Rufus Sewell in it.
Yes.
Which
yes,
is,
she was.
I think, the best version of The Pale Horse, but that's my opinion.
Pretty good version of The Pale Horse.
So look for Lucian and Ursula. Those two characters, you'll recognize those actors, I bet.
Solid episode. Mm-hmm. I'm going to tell, I'm not going to give a rating or anything like that, but this is a solid out of the gates episode.
Yep.
All
Sometimes
sorts of
the first
things.
episode of a season doesn't quite hit the mark. This one absolutely does.
It has, not only does it have a yurt, it also has a manor house.
Yes. It has both a country home and a hippie home.
And boy, some fantastically bad art.
Yes. Lots to look at in the background.
Yes. So much to look at.
Are you ready for our list of Watch Like a Maniac?
Yes.
We have 8 questions.
Whoa.
8 things to look for.
We usually have fewer than that, so 8 is awesome.
Plus a bonus one.
I said to Sarah, there is going to be lots to talk about in the full episode here.
I couldn't narrow it down to less than 8 plus one bonus.
We definitely hit some good stuff here.
So I'm going to go through these. This is 8 things to look for if you want to watch like a maniac. They'll also be in the show notes, so you don't have to try to write them down as I read them out if you want to watch like a maniac. You can if you want. But here we go. Number 1, where do the gnomes live in the rose garden? And you're laughing because you know.
Sarah and I both immediately went, what is that?
Pause it. Poor Mark had to be so fast on the remote. Pause it.
Yep.
Rewind. Play. Okay, so that's number 1. Where do gnomes live in the rose garden?
Where do the gnomes live in the rose garden?
Number 2, why are there so many towels in the pub?
This has a pub. It's not an aptly named pub, but it has an interesting pub because of these towels.
An odd number of towels.
Yes.
Number 3, who owns Fleur's famous boobs? Fleur is awesome in this episode, as usual.
Annette Badland, friend of the show.
You love saying that.
I love saying that. I can't believe how good she is in this episode.
It may be one of her best.
Yeah.
She's priceless.
Yep. Fantastic.
So that's number 3. Who owns Fleur's famous boobs?
Yes.
Number 4, who has a topless mugshot?
I noticed this, and Sarah was like, that's weird.
There's so much to look at in the cop shop.
So much in the cop shop, including, and Sarah didn't mention this, but it's almost like there's another older DCI and a younger DS.
At the desks next to Barnaby and Winter.
Next to Barnaby. So that's the parallel episode.
That's the future of Midsomer right there at the next desk.
Like it's the wee ginger man is Winter. And I think there's multiple universes happening at once here.
So that's the fourth question. Who has a topless mugshot?
Yes.
Number 5, was that the first Midsomer fart joke?
I did a search on my notes for the word fart, and I believe, as far as I can tell, the first Midsomer fart joke takes place in this episode.
I can't believe you searched your notes for fart.
I did. Because all my notes are digital, so I can search them very quickly.
Isn't that handy? Okay,
Yes.
so that was number 5. Was that the first Midsomer fart joke?
Yes.
See if you can find it. Number 6, who has the longest tube? It's a long one.
It is a ginormous, thick, heavy tube.
You're getting a little raunchy there.
I am.
Talking about thick tubes.
I am.
So that's number 6. Who has the longest tube? Number 7, who is the best crafty terrorist?
Yes.
There's a crafty terrorist.
There's a crafty terrorist.
Number 8, where is Ulysses in the Barnaby's living room?
Yes.
Find Ulysses in the Barnaby's living room.
Yes.
And here's your bonus.
Yep.
Number 9, what's Lucian's favorite cutlery?
Oh, I know this because I pointed it out twice.
Yes, Lucian's favorite cutlery.
Lucian's-
Lucian is the character played by Peter Serafinowicz.
Yes.
What's his favorite cutlery? So those are your 8 and your bonus 9th. Watch like a maniac points.
Now,
see how many you can answer.
I
when
have
you
to
watch it.
warn you that Betty is in this episode and actually does very well. I'm
Yeah.
very pleased with the actress. And she appears standing on a chair, first of all. She is not now 8 feet tall.
Wait, the first time she's on screen, she's standing on a chair, and Mark goes, "Oh my gosh, Betty's huge." And I said, "She's on a chair." And we laughed and laughed. Because
Yep.
obviously you knew she was on a chair.
Yes.
She's not taller than everyone in Midsomer.
But the actress who obviously took a break during COVID is now back, and I think did a fantastic job.
She has more lines than she's ever had.
Yes, she has
She gets to leave the house.
what's the word I'm looking for? Personality.
Yeah, she does.
She does. She's has
coming into her
character.
own.
And a lot of people online have been mentioning her. I think
She
the
deserves some
actress
credit.
did a great job.
She does a really good job. We'll talk more about her in the full episode about this season 24 episode 1, The Devil's Work, which you will find in our stream in January.
Yes. So again, listen to this, then watch the episode, then wait on bated breath to the full episode in January.
Yes. Meanwhile, next Monday, we'll be going back to a full episode on Father Brown.
The Devil's Dust, continuing Devil Week.
Yes. You'll get a full episode, a new one, not a remix, of Father Brown. And then next week, you'll get another mini of the next Midsomer.
Yes, which is season 24, episode 2, Book of the Dead. Now, next week on the 11th and the 12th, those episodes are released on Acorn. So you get 2.
But we're only going to cover one a
We're
week.
only going to cover one a week because we're crazy people.
We can only
already.
do so much.
We can only do so much.
So that is your spoiler-free mini episode for season 24, episode 1, The Devil's Work, brand new Midsomer hot off the presses with 8 Watch Like a Maniac points, plus 1 bonus if you know what Lucian's favorite cutlery is.
Yes.
Look in the show notes for the full list.
Bye, Midsomer Maniacs.
Bye, Midsomer Maniacs.